Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where Karen accuses me of stealing something because I tried to be a decent human being. Just a quick note, more than 80% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. So if you are one of those people, please feel free to subscribe because I upload daily Reddit content. But now, without wasting any more time, let's dive right in.
Just run across the store and tell them to answer the phone.
I used to work the customer service desk at a large grocery chain in Pennsylvania. By far, the most common call we got was people asking for the pharmacy. For us and for a lot of large chain stores, the pharmacy is its own separate entity in all respects except for sharing the building. Think of it like two different stores at a shopping mall. They had different name, different staff, different logo, different everything. For us, we were not even on the same phone system for privacy reasons, so when people would ask to speak to the pharmacy, the only thing we could do was give them the information to connect to the pharmacy directly. We would often get people who call and begin spilling their medical history before you could stop them. But this was one of my most memorable calls. Based on the voice, this was an adult in their 30s or 40s. Me: "Thanks for calling large grocery store. My name is Chris. How can I help you?" Lady:
"Hi, can you connect me with the pharmacy?"
Me: "I'm unable to transfer you, but I can give you the pharmacy's direct number to call." Lady:
"No, I just want you to transfer me."
Me: "I understand, but the pharmacy is a separate store on a different phone line, so my phone here is not able to transfer you, but I can give you their phone number to call them directly." Lady:
"So why won't you transfer my call?"
Me: "I'm sorry, it's a bit of a pain, I know. I wish I could. The phone just cannot do it because they have their own system so that patients don't accidentally leave voicemails with sensitive medical information on the grocery store's phone. But I have their number ready for you to connect with them directly." Lady:
"Oh, fine."
Give her phone number, about 30 seconds go by and my phone rings again. Me: "Thanks for calling large grocery store. My name is Chris. How can I help you?" Lady:
"Hello, I just spoke to you about calling the pharmacy. I called and they did not answer."
I cannot see the pharmacy from my station, but on Saturday mornings they were always busy. And given the length of time between calls, she could not have called more than once. Me: "I'm sorry about that, ma'am. It's very possible that they are busy, but I'm sure if you call back in a few minutes or leave a..." Lady:
"I don't want to leave a message. I want to talk to someone now. Can't you call over and ask them to answer the phone?"
Me: "I want to help, but I cannot really force them to answer the..." Lady:
"I'm going to hang up and call them. You go over there and tell them to answer the damn phone while I'm calling."
Me: "Ma'am, I'm afraid I cannot do that. Like I said, if you call and leave a mess..." Lady:
"Why won't you help me? Go over and tell them to answer the phone. Do you even understand what I'm asking you to do?"
Me: "Ma'am, I understand what you're asking me to do, but I'm afraid I cannot do that. But I can..." Lady:
"I want to speak to your manager."
Me: "I'm happy to connect you with the pharmacy manager, but I cannot transfer you. You have to call them directly." Note, I'm certainly not trying to be insensitive to someone who could have been having an urgent medical situation. I just had no way of helping, which I tried to explain. It's like needing a hospital and calling the subway in the hospital food court. And I found a very accurate reply from Matthew0275 in the comments section. 90% of customer service is repeating what you just said with different words in the hopes that you hit the keywords that will register in the customer's brain. The question is, what kind of keyword can trigger Karen's brain? So first, a bit of backstory. I live in the UK and my brother is one of the managers at the Costco near my college, so instead of wasting money on a bus pass, I hang around in Costco after college until my brother finishes his shift and I catch a ride with him. But something happened the other day. While I was waiting, I just had to share. Sorry for any misspelling or grammar mistakes. English is not my first language, I'm Welsh. So I had just finished up college and I made my way to Costco. The guy at the door already knew me and knew why I was there, so he lets me in without needing a Costco card. Once inside, I found my brother and a few of the other employees that I babysit for. We talked for a few minutes till they had to go back to work, and I decided to look around at some of the new stuff they were selling. I was in the middle of browsing through clothes when I felt a harsh tap on my shoulder. I turned around to see a lady with her blonde/grey hair scraped back into a tight bun, looking like Botox, and a face that literally looks like a bulldog chewing on a wasp. Lady holds up a pair of jeans.
Do you have these in size 14?
Me? Oh, sorry miss, I don't work here. But I think the woman that handles the clothes is in the next aisle. Lady, now looking annoyed.
Don't you lie to me. I saw you chatting with the other employees less than a minute ago. So could you stop being lazy for 1 second and get me a pair of jeans?
Me? Ma'am, just because I may know and talk to the workers does not mean that I work here myself. If you would like, I could help you find a real employee and see what they can do. This woman was having none of it and started screaming at me, saying that I should be more respectful to paying customers instead of lying and being lazy. She really did say that. Luckily, one of my brother's friends saw what was happening and rushed over to help. We will call her CW for this story. Excuse me miss, is everything alright? Lady?
No, I'm absolutely disgusted with the service I'm getting from your useless coworker. I demand she be sacked immediately.
CW gives me a worried look. I'm sorry miss, but she doesn't work here. The lady was on fire at this point and forcefully grabs my arm and drags me to the front desk, demanding to see the manager, while CW was chasing after us, trying to get the lady to stop. Once again, I was immediately recognized by the people at the desk and immediately got my brother out. He looked at the old lady and then at me as if to say, "What the F is going on?" And once again, the woman starts yelling about how disrespectful I am and how I should be sacked. Halfway through her rant, my brother loses it, telling her to shut the F up and saying I was not an employee, however, I was his sister, and if she did not stop her harassment, he would call the police. She was as pale as a ghost now, but me being the idiot I was, started snickering at the situation, and she turned to me red-eyed and literally tried to slap me before my brother grabbed her hand and had her escorted out of the building with a permanent ban on her head. You know, I'm always fascinated how people are seemingly okay by getting their arm grabbed by a total stranger. How would you react in a situation like that? Moreover, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some stars in the comments and like the video if you want to support me. Thank you very much. I want to share a more uplifting I Don't Work Here Lady story to end the work week. So this all started a few days ago when I was doing some grocery shopping at Kroger, and I'm sure I butchered that name. I had just gotten off work from the Hyundai dealership where our sales uniforms are dark blue polos, just like Kroger, and I happened to be wearing khakis that day too. I have been stopped a few times before at this same Kroger in the same scenario, since it is the only grocery store on my way home. As I was walking down the soup aisle, an elderly lady approaches me and starts asking me where she can find vegan gravy. Usually I would calmly explain that I did not in fact work there, but because of my background as a former food sales rep and executive chef, including my time as a sous chef at a vegan restaurant, I asked out of curiosity why she wanted vegan gravy. I come to find out she was doing some early Thanksgiving shopping and her new daughter-in-law is a vegan and she wanted to make her feel welcome to their family and wanted to try out some recipes before the big day. She had no idea what it meant and had printed out some terrible generic recipes off Facebook. I've seen poorly thought out Facebook recipes destroy their fair share of good meals, and this led to me walking and talking with her for a while and helping grab a few items she would need to make some really good and easy to make vegan cuisine. I probably spent almost a half hour with her and wrote down a few recipes on the back of my business cards, and we parted ways. To be honest, I was not even trying to be helpful, but rather she had become a victim of me nerding out and rambling about a topic I was passionate about. Cooking, not veganism, that I no longer had an outlet for. Driving home, I realized that the whole time she probably thought I was the most helpful Kroger employee ever and had a good laugh about it. Now we fast forward to today. It's colder than a witch's tit outside, and I'm sitting in the showroom of my dealership trying to send out a few emails, and it's slow as F. All of a sudden I get a call. Hi, this is XX from the grocery store. I hope this is the right number, but I'm looking for Eskimo Explosion, aka the OP. Yes, this is him. I reply and I start with, hey, I don't actually work at Kroger. And she cut me off and said, I know, you wrote me a recipe on the back of your business card, and I had a few questions if you have a quick second. Being bored, I went in detail how to go about making this sauce, and she apologized for bothering me at work. I told her it was not a big deal and told her jokingly I would be happy to do whatever it took so another cook won't mess up one of my good recipes. She laughed and asked what time I got off work. I told her I was working until close, but that I could take calls most of the day since it was slow in case she had any questions. So a few hours roll by and I'm out back, smoking a cigarette with the detailers when I hear my name paged on the intercom. OP, you have a guest in the showroom. I was not expecting any appointments, but ran up front to see what was going on. There she was, the lady from the grocery store with another elderly man who I found out was her husband. What in the hell is she doing here? I thought she had maybe decided to bring some food for me to try to see if it tasted right, or maybe had brought me some brownies or other old lady treats for helping her out. So here is the best part of the story. She actually had a Tucson, which I believe is a car, and her lease was up in 2 weeks and she wanted to turn it in and lease another one from me instead of our competitors down the street where she got it originally. Her husband had pointed out to her that her new chef friend actually sold the same kind of car she was in the market for. I got her in the next model up from what she had been driving and kept her at the same payment. I thought I would share since this really made my day. If you want to hear more uplifting I Don't Work Here Lady stories, please let me know in the comments. I love Target. I'm also a stress eater who happens to be waiting on results of a biopsy. See where this is going, so I'm wandering down the candy aisle wearing a green floral dress and a yellow cardigan. You know, nothing at all even vaguely resembling a Target employee uniform. I've already grabbed a package of Marshmallow Moon Oreos and a box of Fruit Loops, and I'm seeking to round things out with some Twizzlers. Ancient Karen is blocking the area with her cart as she yells into an ancient artifact of a flip phone about
what Billy likes
and how
no, it cannot be the Haribo bears. She would remember the gold package.
I see the Twizzlers, but alas, they are physically out of my reach behind the barricade of good old Karen's cart. Excuse me, I say politely, pointing at my quarry. Could you please move your cart? Karen's grandma waves me off as if I wear a net. Okay, I'm annoyed. I just want to grab my rare junk pile treat and go home to watch Gilmore Girls and forget about the potential nightmare growing in my guts. I'm not exactly a large woman, so I think I can fit in between the red plastic trademark card and just grab my candy. Wrong.
Is it the neon worms then?
Proto Karen brace as she actually effing hip checks me, sort of side scooting her cart closer to the candy rack and knocking loose several items in the process.
Excuse me,
she dramatizes into her phone.
Some employee with nothing better to do feels like harassing me.
She wraps her cloven fist around the lower half of her phone and leans towards me dramatically.
Move along now,
she scolds with sarcastic sweetness.
I'm a customer. Customer. Go sweep up the back or something.
And then she sees my expression. I have RBF at the best time. Seriously, you should see me in those pictures. They snap on roller coasters, so when it's time for the actual witch to come out, your girl is ready. Move, I say, quietly but with a definite air of menace. Karen snaps shut her phone, trying to match my fury, but succeeding only in looking like one of those shriveled old Apple dolls people force their children to make.
I will have your job for this, just you wait.
I don't work here. I go to push her damn cart out of the way, but she yanks it first, causing a bunch of stuff she had knocked loose to tumble to the ground.
I don't know where you need to stock things now. You could have waited until the paying customers were done here. Now look at the mess you have to deal with.
She chuckles at this as if I'm a child who has just gotten a taste of cocoa powder I'd been begging for. Are you crazy or just stupid? I ask her, setting down my cookies and cereal to pick up a handful of Ferrero Rocher and Godiva boxes. It's not like she was going to clean up after herself.
I will have you know, the manager of this store and I are good friends. He really will fire you.
The manager is a lovely woman I've spoken to often. She would not fire anyone on a Karen say-so. What part of "I don't work here" are you failing to understand? Finally, Karen, the elder, seems to realize that I'm not wearing red, or a name tag, or anything else that would indicate that I work for Target. Not that I would turn down the employee discount though.
If you're not an employee, why are you cleaning up like one?
Because I try to be a decent person? Karen does not know how to react to that. I like to think it's because the idea of being a decent human being is an entirely foreign concept to her. She stands there for a moment, watching me face a shelf she herself demolished, clutching her phone like an amulet. After a brief pause, she snaps to and snatches away her cart, vacating the candy aisle. But not before zinging me with this whopper. Get it? Candy humor.
Fine, but you're stealing their jobs.
You know, usually when a normal person would knock something over in a store, you would probably feel embarrassed and try to relocate it as fast as possible. But obviously, that's not how Karens work. Yes, I work there, and there, but not here. A wholesome little story. I hope this fits here. If not, I will take it down. It's a nice little story, nobody gets crazy. I actually have a lot of jobs. I think I'm up to 5 at the moment, all 0 hours, flexible and freelance stuff. I've got to jump around a lot if I want to make full-time pay. Most of my jobs involve caring for or entertaining children in some way. There is this one little girl, I will call her Jane. She's about 6 and lives in my town, has a few younger siblings and keeps showing up at my various jobs. We don't really know each other, I just recognize her face and she recognizes mine. Each time she finds me, she gets more and more confused. So during the school holidays, our interactions were sort of like: week 1, I painted her brother's face at the fair. Week 2, I helped her sister chose a book at the library event. Week 3, I sold something to her mom at the shop, etc. and so on. I have never interacted with her directly, but I've seen her at least once a week all summer. Each time she clocks me at a different job, I can see her little brain trying to figure out why I'm also here. I think I'm starting to scare her a little, like maybe I'm following her or something. No one else in her family seems to notice or remember me. So the town had this big event at the end of summer. I was not working, I was there enjoying some candy floss and chilling out, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. I am sitting on the benches and Jane and her family walk past. Her head turns all the way around as she stares at me. I can see her brain freaking out a little bit. Why am I here too? I give her a little wave, she waves back and off she goes. About half an hour later, I'm watching the school kids perform their little show and I feel a tug on my sleeve. It's little Jane, tears in her eyes. She asks if I can help. This is the first time she has ever spoken to me, but she has lost her mom and she needs help. So of course, I'm going to help her. Having worked with kids, I know the drill. I get the info we need, mom's name and what she's wearing, I could not remember. We find the lost children's stand and get the staff out to send a message for the mom. I assure her that her mom is looking for her and we will wait here till she finds us. She's holding my hand as we wait and she says, "I'm glad you work here too." I did not have the heart to correct her. I wish there would be more of these wholesome I Don't Work Here Lady stories. Either way, that's all the I Don't Work Here Lady content I have for you today. We will now continue with a story from our own subreddit r/ripestories, where you can post your own stories for me to read. A military "today I effed up" story for you all. Forward leaning, rest, position, move. A time I effed up story. Requisite first timer, so please be gentle. I was in basic training back in the summer of '88. Well, it was hot as blue blazes and we were on our field exercise. Well, I got sleepy, and the next thing I knew, there was my drill sergeant asking if I had enjoyed my nap. Needless to say, actually, drill sergeant, it was quite pleasant. Was not what he was expecting to hear. He asked for my weapon and told me to follow him. Some of you might know the punishment called the dying cockroach. If not, you lie on your back, your arms and feet up with a canteen on your feet while saying, "I'm a dying cockroach, I cannot reach my water," until the drill sergeant's throat gets sore. It was like 6 minutes until the silence made him cough like someone with TB, indicating I could get up. So that was just for the smart aleck remark. The punishment for sleeping, and of course the I effed up moment came when I and 7 others were instructed to lay our weapons across the backs of our hands in the push-up position. So my arms are already shot and I was not the best push-up doer, and up comes a LT, who sadly knew my name. I suppose LT means lieutenant. "Down lower, Freibel, I want to see your chest on that weapon." Open mouth swallow, foot up to hip bone. In a gasping out of breath voice I responded, "F you, sir." Like lightning out of Pikachu's butt, 3 drill sergeants descended on me like wolves on a wounded deer. I cannot remember exactly what was said, but imagine the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket on meth, and that is about how bad the teardown was. After several minutes and lots of laughter as the story spread, I was asked, "Just how deep in it do you think you are?" "I would say up to my hairline, drill sergeant," I said, to which he responded, "Well, you did say sir, so I think you're only up to your forehead." I wish. He just nodded and signaled me to follow. I finished up basic training, don't ask, because even I don't know, with the nickname of Wingnut and an Article 15 for disrespecting an officer, which garnished me $150 and 30 days in the brick suspended. Okay, thank you Mr. Freibel or Fribble, I'm sorry. That story was absolutely amazing. To any active or ex-military/army people that are watching my videos, I would love to hear your stories on our subreddit. These stories are really fun, I gotta say. So once again, sorry for butchering your name, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you really don't want to miss a single upload of mine, even if YouTube is acting stupid, then please also click on the bell icon so you get a special notification whenever I upload. So I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.